अपादमौलिपर्यन्तां गुरूणाम् आकृतिं स्मरेत् तेन विघ्नप्रणश्यन्ति सिद्ध्यन्ते च मनोरथः। लक्ष्मीं तनोतु नितरामितरानपेक्षम् अङ्घ्रिद्वयं निगमशाक्षिखाप्रवालम् ऐरम्बमम्बुरुपडम्बरचौर्यनिग्रहं विघ्नाद्रिभेदशतधारधुरन्धरन्नः। सर्वेषां स्वागतम्. Welcome to the Bhashyam session. So we had a look at the 5th, 6th and 7th shlokas, and over there the explanation to those shlokas were basically with respect to why Haridiksha is important, the continuation of that, and there we see that the initiation was Swamata, then we go into references given by different um, Puranas. So the first, that is the 5th shloka, when we see, it is saying that Hari is, or here Vishnu is used, they are used alternatively in many places. So Sanama Sukriti Loke Kulantena Yalankritam Adhara Sarvabhutanam Yena Vishnu Prasaditah. So here the concept is that, and this is not disputed anywhere, while we think about the Nirguna Brahman manifesting in any way, we cannot give him any gunas. So when we cannot give him any gunas, how can we have him into forms? So we are not giving him any forms, we are giving him attributes, that is, he's performing some function. That function is expansion, and due to expansion there is creation, and then due to that creation we have existence, and that existence needs sustenance, and thereafter there is destruction and then annihilation. In this, when we talk about the Upadhi Karana, Nimitta Karana and all that, the main primordial matter out of which any manifestation can take place, what we call as the atom or the Paramanu, that is what is referred to as Vishnu. That is the reason we can find reference to Kirtans and all saying that Paramanu Rupa Sriman Narayana. So he is within us because he is the Paramanu Rupa upon which the whole manifestation takes place. So there are Paramanu Rupa, when we say there is one Paramanu and another Paramanu, they fuse together, they form something called as Dvyanuka. Then Dvyanuka has three attributes, three sides. So therefore, Dvyanuka it gets attached to two more Dvyanukas. That means this side and this side. So there are three Dvyanukas causing a Trenuka. Like that, it couples up and that becomes a Mahatva. It gains Mahatva. That means that something that can be experienced, something that is open to physical measurements. So when the Trenuka happens and then it goes on, we find that it starts manifesting. So then it gets all these different attributes, gunas, all the 24 gunas it gets. But it is starting from one atom only. That is the point of the primordial matter, fundamental initial beginnings where it has happened. So like in Garbhavastha, the Pinda actually takes Janana from, it takes its Janma from a single fused, fertilized egg. The embryo is what gives, it starts replicating, it starts reproducing, and then it forms a Pinda. And then when it starts getting the Angas, then there is a fetus, Bruna. There we find that it has emerged from a single cell, but it is resulting into a human, a manifestation is taking form. So that is referred to as Vishnu, Anu. So Vishwasya Anu, the single atom from which the whole world has evolved. That is the reason he is Adhara, Adharaha Sarva Bhutanam. He is the Adhara for everything, starting from the Panchamahabhutas. And obviously, we have manifested because of the Panchamahabhutas, we are also involved over there. So, this whole manifestation is a prasada of Vishnu. It is because of that quality of an anu to fuse itself, Parmanu to come together, we are able to manifest. Otherwise, we would not have. It is like those this small things for us. Those blocks, the building blocks. So when it has these grooves on which we can stick them together, right? So those blocks, in case there aren't such grooves, then we can't build a structure. So it is important for us to understand this, that it is because of one function of Hari Narayana that we are able to manifest, and therefore we should know him. Therefore, we should take time to understand how we have been formed. Had it not been like that, then we would have just collapsed. There would be no structure. So therefore, it is important for us to understand Hari. Then why should we pray to Hari? Because we will understand more about ourselves. It is not a question of understanding Hari in himself for the sake of knowing him. For the sake of understanding oneself, one's own purpose, we need to pray to Vishnu. And when we understand it, see, when we understand how from the atomic form we have been formed, then we understand our own composition. When we understand our own composition, then we will understand how to be manifest also. That is basically getting away from a physical manifestation, that is physical presence, and understanding the psychological presence or the mental presence or the presence of the Atma Tattva. Then we will know that by understanding the atomic form only, we are able to move to that level. So that then we will get to know how to get away from the uh, cycle of birth and death. Why Hari can grant us this state of moksha or liberation. How can he do it is because of this. And that is the result of Vishnu's worship. It is not a question of granting boons or anything like that. Vishishta phala is to get rid of the sufferings. Understand how one can get away from that cycle of punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam. That is possible through worship of Vishnu. That is the reason Adhara Sarvabhutanam Yena Vishnu Prasadataha. So the next shloka, and we find that any kriyas that we do, that is yajnanam and tapasam, yajnanam tapasam chaiva, subhanam chaiva karmanam. We do tapas, we can do yajnas, these are all Vaidika kriyas. We can do shubha karmana, we can do any such kriyas, but they are all not equivalent to aradhana of Hari. So this in Bhagavad Gita also we will find references where Krishna himself says, uh, it is not the yajnas or the tapas. In the kind of yajnas also, the important is japa yajna. That is chanting of his name. That is the most important one. So based on these things, we can understand that the Vishishta Phala, that is liberation, can only be granted by Vishnu, by understanding him. So next shloka is about the ignorance caused by Kali. So what is this ignorance? We may have heard of it. I'm just repeating the Kali. So at the end of the uh, Dwapara Yuga, where King Parikshita, he is ruling the whole landmass. At that point of time, there is something called as Ramarajya, or model state has been established. So there is nothing bad happening or anything like that. So at that point of time, he is in a forest hunting or anything like something like that. So he gets tired and he sits. At that point of time, Kali comes to him. Kali Purusha. He comes to him and he says, "This is the end of Dwapara Yuga. My time has to start. But you have created such a model state where I cannot exist." So understanding um, the essence of time, because it is my time to come, you have to grant me a boon. So Parikshita Maharaja says, fine, uh, you can manifest in 5 different places that you want. So he gives him the option. You can manifest where gambling happens. You can manifest where there is alcohol. You can manifest where there is violence. You can manifest where there is greed. You can manifest where there is money. All these things. But again, what happens is Kali, he says, look, you have already eradicated most of these things, because where gambling happens means it should first happen for me to manifest. But you have eliminated these bad habits. So I cannot manifest that way. You do something, give me another place. What place is that? Give me a place in gold. Wherever gold is, let me manifest over there. Anyway, it is a manifested thing. It is why form an attachment to a material thing. So let me manifest over there. So Parikshit Maharaja says yes. Immediately, he doesn't realize that as a king, he is also wearing a gold crown. So when he says that, the first thing Kali does is he manifests within his crown, and it creates a mada, it creates a ahankara to Parikshita Maharaja. And what happens is he doesn't realize that Kali has manifested in his crown, and he starts to and Kali leaves, and he starts to hunt. Over there, he sees a rishi, he who is in deep uh, tapas. So seeing him, Parikshita Maharaja is a little thirsty. He asks for water, but because he's in deep penance, he doesn't listen to him, the rishi. Now, not understanding that somebody in deep meditation should not be disturbed, as a Raja, he gets so into himself, Ahankara manifests, that he feels that he is disrespecting him, and there is a dead snake over there. He takes that dead snake and he puts it on the rishi. This disturbs the rishi and he wakes up. Or there are different versions which is that he doesn't wake up, he's still in deep contemplation. The rishi's son, who is nearby, he sees this, and he gets very angry that his father is being disturbed this way and insulted this way. So he is being disturbed this way. So what the son does is he curses Parikshita Maharaja, saying that uh, by the end of some period of time, within certain time, um, this snake, the dead snake, will gain life and will bite Parikshit Maharaj and take his life. So, keeping this in mind, there are different versions also which say that the snake doesn't gain life. It is Takshaka who has to kill him to make the curse come true. Different versions, but he gets cursed that he gets bitten by a snake and then he is going to die. So look at the ignorance caused by Kali. Parikshita Maharaja is a great king who manifested Ramarajya, model state. But even then, Kali is able to bring about Ahankara. What do we mean by Ahankara? The distinction that is brought about in discrimination. Then he starts seeing himself as superior, as a king. Otherwise, he knows his duties as a king, but he doesn't disrespect anybody. When does he disrespect somebody? When he feels that he's superior to them. So this is brought about by Kali. This is the ignorance that is caused by Kali. So like this ignorance is caused to all of us also, because we also have relation to all those places where Kali exists. So once we have greed in mind, Kali manifests. Once we think of doing something bad for someone, Kali manifests. Old Kali manifests. So these kind of things causes ignorance. This ignorance we are able to destroy when we understand the concept, the tattva of Hari. When we understand that, because Hari absolutely means that Harana of all kinds of manifested thoughts. So understanding Hari can get rid of this ignorance that is caused by Kali. Therefore, a person who is able to worship Hari, a person who is able to do Nitya Upasana of Hari, has achieved a state of sentience where he is able to distinguish between the Jnana, Ajnana. These tattvas he is able to understand. Therefore, he should also be treated with Pujya Bhava. Those are Siddhas, those are yogis. That is the reason, what do yogis actually worship, or what do they do dhyana on? It is Hari. That is the reason we find that Yogibir Dhyayate. So he Shantakaram Pushakashayanam Padmanabham Suresham Vishwadharam Gagana Sadusham Meghavarnam Shubhangam Lakshmikantam Kamalanayanam Yogi Prathyana Ramyam. So Yogi Bhihi Dhyana Gamyam. So how do they go to dhyana? It is because of Hari. That is the point of worshipping Hari. Yogis reach that state of sentience through this upasana, nityopasana, and with bhakti on Hari. That is the importance of worshipping Hari. So this is the bhashya of these three shlokas. So with that, we conclude this session. स्वस्ति प्रजाभ्यः प्रतिपालयन्तां न्यायेन मार्गेण महीमहिषा गोब्राह्मणेभ्यो शुभमस्तु नित्यं लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृते स्वभावात् करोमि यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि।